My name is Anna. I'm 27 years old and work as a nurse at St. Andrew's Hospital. Ever since I was a little girl, I knew I wanted to help people, and nursing became my way to do that. I grew up in a small, quiet town with my parents and younger brother Liam. They always supported my dreams, and their encouragement led me to where I am today. The hospital where I work is always busy. Nurses like me are on our feet for hours, tending to patients, calming anxious families, and collaborating with doctors. Despite the challenges, I find my work fulfilling. It's a place filled with life, healing, and stories, some joyful, some heartbreaking. After long shifts, I often stop at a little coffee shop near the hospital to relax. It's a cozy place with warm lights and the smell of freshly baked pastries. The baristas know me by name, and they always have my favorite order ready, a cappuccino and a blueberry muffin. A year ago, I met a man named David. It happened by chance at a coffee shop. One rainy evening, after a particularly tough day at work, I was sitting alone, tired from a long shift. When he smiled at me and said, "You look like you could use a good coffee," I laughed and nodded. "You're right," I said. "Do you mind if I sit here?" he asked, his voice warm. I looked around. The place was crowded. "Sure," I said with a small smile. And that simple exchange led to a long conversation. David told me he was a photographer. He was charming, funny, and kind. We exchanged numbers that day, and soon we started texting each other. After that day, I started seeing David more often, and soon our coffee shop chats turned into evening walks. He would show me his photos, stunning shots of nature, cityscapes, and candid moments. David told me about his work, how photography was not just a job for him, but a passion. He loved capturing emotions, moments, and beauty in the world. I admired his dedication and creativity. He seemed to admire my compassion and the way I spoke about my patients. Over the months, our bond grew stronger. He was thoughtful, always asking about my day, bringing me little gifts like a flower he picked on his way or a book he thought I'd like. Our connection felt effortless. I began to trust him, to share my thoughts and dreams. David never mentioned a wife. There was no ring, no hints, nothing to suggest he was married. I thought he was single, just like me, navigating life and work. One Saturday afternoon, he invited me to join him at a park for a photo walk. It was a beautiful day, and I loved how he made even simple things feel special. We walked for hours, and at the end of the day he took a picture of me sitting on a bench, laughing at one of his jokes. "This is my favorite shot of the day," he said, showing me the picture. I felt my heart flutter. "You're good at this," I said softly. He smiled and replied, "You make it easy." As time went on, we grew closer. We started meeting more often, talking about everything under the sun. I thought we were building something real. But then, everything changed. One evening, as I was unwinding at home, my phone rang. The number was unfamiliar. Curious, I answered. "Hello, is this Anna?" a woman's voice asked. "Yes, this is Anna. Who's calling?" I replied, confused. "This is Laura," she said. "David's wife." My heart stopped. "What?" I whispered, my voice trembling. "I'm his wife," she repeated. "We've been married for 7 years. I thought you should know." I couldn't believe what I was hearing. "That's not possible," I said. "David never told me he was married." Laura's voice was calm but filled with pain. "I saw your picture," she said, "the one he took of you at the park. He left his camera at home and I found the photo. That's when I knew." Tears welled up in my eyes as she continued. "I love David and I want to save my marriage, but I need you to know the truth." She sent me photos of their wedding, their life together. They looked happy, like a couple who belonged together. My heart broke into pieces. The next day, I asked David to meet me. When he arrived, I confronted him. "Why didn't you tell me you're married?" I demanded. He looked shocked, then guilty. "Anna, I can explain," he said. "There's nothing to explain," I snapped. "Laura called me. She told me everything." David sighed, running a hand through his hair. "I wasn't happy in my marriage," he admitted. "Laura and I have grown apart. When I met you, I felt something I hadn't felt in years." His words only made me angrier. "So you decided to lie to me, to cheat on her?" "I didn't mean to hurt anyone," he said. I didn't know what to do." I shook my head, feeling both furious and heartbroken. "You should have been honest. You should have told me the truth." "I care about you, Anna," he said desperately. "I don't want to lose you." "You already have," I said firmly. "You need to fix things with Laura. I won't be part of this." I walked away that day, determined to rebuild my life. In the weeks that followed, I focused on my work and leaned on my friends for support. Slowly, I started to heal. One day, Laura messaged me. "David and I are going to therapy," she said. "We're trying to work things out." I replied, "I hope you find happiness." Though it was painful, I knew I had done the right thing. I learned that love should be built on honesty, not lies. Months passed after the chapter with David, and I focused on rebuilding my life. I moved to a new city where I found a nursing position at a small, friendly hospital. The new environment felt like a fresh start, and I was determined to leave my past behind. At the hospital, I met Sam. He was a senior nurse who had been working there for years. Sam was kind, patient, and always willing to lend a helping hand. He had an easygoing personality that made everyone feel comfortable around him. He was tall, with warm brown eyes and a soft smile that could brighten the toughest day. At first, our interactions were professional. Sam would guide me through the hospital's routines, always encouraging me whenever I felt overwhelmed. "You're doing great, Anna," he'd say, and his words never failed to lift my spirits. Over time, we started having lunch together in the staff lounge. We would talk about our patients, share stories from our lives, and laugh about silly hospital mishaps. One evening, after a particularly long shift, Sam and I decided to grab dinner at a nearby diner. Over burgers and fries, we talked for hours. I learned that Sam grew up in a small town like mine and had always wanted to help people, which is why he chose nursing. He told me about his family, how he was close to his younger sister and often spent weekends visiting her. "What about you?" he asked, looking at me with genuine interest. I hesitated, but then I told him about my life, my family, my love for nursing, and even the heartbreak I had endured. Sam listened quietly, never interrupting. When I finished, he said, "You're stronger than you think, Anna. It takes courage to walk away from something that's not right." His words stayed with me. Over the next few months, our friendship deepened. Sam was thoughtful, always remembering little details about me. He would bring me my favorite coffee on busy mornings or leave encouraging notes in my locker. One day, as we were walking to our cars after work, he stopped and turned to me. "Anna, I've been meaning to say this for a while," he began, his voice steady. "I really enjoy spending time with you. You're smart, kind, and one of the strongest people I know. I think I'm falling for you." My heart skipped a beat. I looked at him, his eyes filled with sincerity. "Sam," I said softly, "I feel the same way." From that moment, our relationship blossomed. Sam became my rock, my confidant, and my best friend. He showed me what it meant to love and be loved, with honesty and respect. A year later, on a beautiful spring evening, Sam surprised me with a simple but heartfelt proposal. We were at a park, the same one where we often went for evening walks. He got down on one knee, holding a small velvet box. "Anna," he said, his voice filled with emotion, "you've brought so much light into my life. I want to spend the rest of my days making you as happy as you've made me. Will you marry me?" Tears filled my eyes as I nodded. "Yes, Sam, yes." Now, as I sit here writing this, I'm preparing for our wedding day. Sam and I are building a future together, one filled with love, trust, and shared dreams. Looking back, I realize that every step of my journey, even the painful ones, led me to this moment. I've found a partner who truly values me, and I couldn't be happier. Sometimes life takes us through storms to show us the beauty of a clear sky. And with Sam by my side, I know I've found my sunshine. If you enjoy the story, please like, subscribe, and share.